Xekrai had never been alone for so long. It didn't help that he was in a strange land he was not at all familiar with, and, he had to admit, completely lost. Not having any desire to go back the way he had come, he had wandered off the path almost immediately, and was now stranded in the middle of a tree-covered grassland with no landmarks to help him find his way. Spending the night by himself had been bad enough. It was freezing. But even now, as the sun rose over the hillside, things weren't getting any better. As much as he tried to deny it himself, he was scared. If the Fleens found him now, he'd be completely defenseless.
How could they have abandoned me like that? After all I did for them, they think they can just kick me out. This is all Saetwo's fault. I hate her so much. It made me feel good to remember her and Echae fighting, but it's not enough. She was the one who caused the others to turn against me. I want to make her personally regret everything she has done to me, including Subini Isle. Even though I know the truth about my father now, Saetwo is not vindicated from my blame. If she had just kept her nose out of things, maybe things would have been different.
What he wouldn't give to be at Shade Tree right now with the others. But they would never take him back now. They had let him leave without a fight, so they obviously didn't want him back. It hurts to think about that. He hated himself for it. It was a fatal weakness. But he actually cared what they thought about him. He didn't want to be rejected anymore. He was lonely.
You're angry at them, aren't you?
You!
Romelau had just emerged from behind a tree. A large group of Fleens was with him, and even as Xekrai stood frozen in fear, they slowly began to circle around him. There was nowhere to run.
What do you want from me?
All I want is to talk. You're willing to do that, aren't you?
Of course not! Why would I listen to you? You're pure evil!
You think I'm evil? I gotta disagree with you. You Zumbinis, your dad specifically, were the ones who wronged us first. All I did was serve justice.
You and those blokes destroyed our home. You tried to ambush me and the others when we haven't done a thing to you. And my dad. You were the one who made my dad betray all of us.
I didn't make him do anything. He made his own decision. He had a choice.
What kind of choice was that? Surrender or get killed? You know you forced him into it. It's your fault.
Don't be stupid. He's completely accountable for his choice. That's not saying it was the wrong choice, mind you.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying he did the right thing. If he hadn't helped us, the bloats would have taken over anyway, and he'd be dead. He defended himself like any normal person would have done.
I know, you're right.
And those others, your so-called friends, didn't understand that, did they? That's why you left, isn't it?
You stay out of that!
I bet I know exactly what happened. You defended your dad and they couldn't accept it. They didn't understand him like you do. So they went and kicked you out of their little group.
Shut up! That's none of your business!
They really hurt you, didn't they? You didn't do a thing wrong, and they rejected you. Trust me, I know how you must feel.
Trust you? This all happened because of you! I wouldn't be here now if it weren't for you!
You're wrong. I didn't stab you in the back like that. That was the Zumbinis. They turned against you because you were brave enough to stand up for your dad.
I was just doing what a leader was. Why didn't they understand?
They don't understand your ambition. But we do. We understand you just like we understood your dad.
What do you mean?
We're about to get our ultimate revenge. You can be smart like your dad and help us, or you can be stupid like them and try to get in our way. You want to get back at them, don't you?
Get back at them? Is that really what I want? If I do that, they'd never accept me again. But Saetwo, she ruined everything for me. You know what? I don't care about Romelau or the Fleens, and I don't care what the other Zombinis did to me. All I want now is to make her pay. Yeah, I do.
Once Xekrai had left Shade Tree, everything quieted down tremendously. Not much happened the next day. A few groups of Zumbinis went exploring, but the most interesting thing they found was a dead tree that seemed to shuffle around. Echae quickly realized that with Xekrai gone, he was the closest thing the group had to a leader, and he had twice as many people to look after now. He spent the day making sure there was enough food to go around and discussing with the others where they would go next.
Ola said we should stay away from the mountains, but the path leads straight to them. We'll have to figure out another way.
Actually, according to this map I found near the camp, they're called the Mountains of Despair. Pretty apt name.
And the forest really is called the Deep Dark Forest. And the marsh is called Who's Bayou? Well, that's weird.
Guys, could we stay on topic? Now look, from what we've heard, the only way through the Mountains of Despair is a whole bunch of winding tunnels and mines. People get lost in there all the time and most never find their way back out.
That sounds pleasant. So, which way do we go?
Well, look here. If we go due north from here, we can circle all the way around the mountains. It'll take a lot longer, but it'll be much safer.
That sounds like a plan. I really don't feel like getting lost and dying in the middle of a dark, spooky tunnel. They discussed this plan with the rest of the group, and everyone agreed that going around the mountains was the best idea. There didn't seem to be any imposing forests or swamps barring their way, and they began to hope it would be easy traveling from here on out. As the meeting broke up and everyone began to leave, Echae suddenly noticed Echae and Weiswyo approaching him. Hey, you guys.
Hi, Echae. Listen, we really wanted to thank you. What you said yesterday, it made a lot of sense. I really think we are better off without Xekrai.
So, how does it feel, not having him around?
Not as good as I thought.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It shouldn't have happened like that. Echae and Weiswyo turned to leave, and Echae was about to do the same when he noticed yet another person waiting to talk to him. Tyscene?
Echae, listen, I'm really sorry for everything.
It's not your fault. I've been a big jerk.
But you had a good reason.
Look, it doesn't matter. Let's just forget about it, okay? You know, you really aren't as bad as Xekrai.
Yeah, you sure were right about him.
Yeah, I guess I was. Dusk had fallen, and the brilliant orange sun bathed the landscape in a warm glow. Saetwo was sitting on a small grassy knoll a few minutes away from Shade Tree, looking up at the sun. She remembered that the sunset had looked exactly like this the day the Bloats arrived at Zumbini Isle. The day everything changed. Someone was coming up from behind her. She didn't need to look to know who it was. She heard the buzzing propeller.
Uloobu, I kind of don't feel like talking right now.
Saetwo, we're all having dinner now. Don't you want to come back?
I'm not hungry.
Look, Saetwo, I really hate seeing you all upset like this. I wish you would be happy again.
Thanks, Uloobu. I wish I could be too. But things are a little complicated right now.
This is all about Echae, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I can't believe you guys would fight like this. I mean, you're best friends.
I know. I'm not sure why it happened. It was my fault, though. I got so angry at him for no reason at all. I don't know why I acted the way I did. I mean, I know he would never like Tyscene. I know it. So why did I fly off the handle like that?
I think I know.
Huh? Why?
You're jealous.
Jealous of what?
Hmm?
Jealous? Me? That's ridiculous. I don't like Echae like that.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean,
Listen, whatever the case is, you two were obviously meant to be friends forever. I mean, I seen both of you today. You haven't talked to each other all day, and it's showing. You guys look incomplete, if that makes any sense. I'm just saying. I think you guys should stop being angry at each other. It's not right. You're so much happier when you're together. And all I want is to see you happy.
Uloobu, what are you saying?
I really like you, Saetwo.
I like you too, Uloobu.
That's not what I mean.
Oh, Uloobu, why? You're such a good friend. Why do you have to make this even more complicated?
But that's besides the point. I know Echae likes you more than anybody else. He really misses you right now. If you would just talk to him, well, I'd feel better. And I know you guys would too.
Uloobu,
It's okay. You don't have to say anything. I know you'd never like a weird little klutz like me anyway.
Uloobu, don't say that. Don't ever say that. You're not weird. You're no less perfect than any of us. I can't see well even with glasses, and Echae, I've lost count of all the times he's tripped over his skates.
I guess. But still, what I'm trying to say, Saetwo, you shouldn't be scared of talking to him. You know, before I really met you guys, I just knew you as those two Zubinis who were always together. no matter what.
Really?
I think it's that way for a lot of people. They just associate you two with each other. It's kind of funny, really. It's like the two of you are the only ones who don't know you're meant for each other.
Is he serious? Is that what everyone really thought? And was it really so obvious? Me and Echae. I never thought of it that way. But I do care about him so much. He always sticks up for me no matter what. If I had to be with somebody, I don't think I'd want it to be anybody else.
Uloobu, you're so smart. What would I do without you?
I imagine you... Hey! Stop tickling me!
You're completely right. First thing tomorrow, I'm going to talk to him. And hopefully we'll be able to forget this whole thing ever happened.
I'm glad.
They arrived back at Shade Tree a few minutes later. Saetwo sighed and looked out at all of the Zumbinis gathered around the campfire. Her friends. The ones who had made this incredible journey with her. Only now did she realize how much she cared about all of them.
Feels like we were gone for a long time, doesn't it, Uloobu?
Uloobu? Oh no!
Fleens! Everybody run!
No, you don't! Guys, you have to fight back! Come on, I can't do this by myself!
You heard her! Let's go, you guys! They're not pushing us around anymore!
Don't be idiots! You can't get rid of us.
The entire campsite was hurled into chaos. The tree shook violently again and again as Zumbinis and Fleens were thrown against it. The pot of soup was spilled all over the ground, and the unchecked fire in the pit was blazing out of control. Saetwo pulled out of the fight for a moment and watched breathlessly. The Fleens were as vicious as ever, yet somehow, someway, the Zumbinis were winning. They were too driven, too determined to be taken down now. They were putting up an incredible fight. Except for one.
Uloobu! No, I have to save Uloobu.
And here I thought you'd be tougher.
Romelau!
You should have just let us get our revenge on you back in the forest. Then maybe we would have been leaving. But now you're about to suffer worse than you've ever imagined. You and that one-eyed freak.
Xekrai?
You took everything from me. Now let me return the favor.
What are you doing? Why are you helping them?
I finally figured out where I really respected.
Forget it, you little brat. You can't win. It's 2 against 1.
Get away from her! Ah!
Romelau, we can't win this fight. What should we do?
We're not getting beaten by a bunch of Zumbini kids. Not again.
We already stop the one-eyed kid. Let's just cut our losses and get out of here.
Uloobu!
Fleens, retreat to the mountains.
Uloobu, no! You're not going anywhere, Xekrai!
This isn't over, Zumbinis. If you want your friend back, you'll have to find us in the mountains. If you don't die first, that is.
Saetwo's vision blurred as her eyes filled up with tears, and she squeezed them shut until the Fleens' raucous laughter and thundering footsteps faded into the distance.
What have you got to say for yourself, Xekrai?
The Zumbinis had tied Xekrai to the tree and were now circled around him and glaring at him in fury.
You brought this on yourself! You shouldn't have gotten rid of me like that! Romelau was right. You don't understand me or my dad, but they do.
Yeah, they obviously understand you a lot. That's why they left you here! Xekrai, they don't care about anybody! How could you possibly fall for that?
I didn't fall for anything! I made my own decision!
I don't want to hear it. Now, where are they taking Uloobu?
You heard him, Echae. They're going to the Mountains of Despair. I guess we'll have to go through them after all.
No. You guys shouldn't have to endanger yourselves like that. Uloobu and I were the ones who beat them in the first place. Romelau said we're the ones he really wants, so I'll go.
By yourself? Saetwo, don't be an idiot. We don't abandon each other like that. At least most of us don't. Unlike someone. We're coming too.
You mean we're all going?
We can't do that. If we all go, there's a chance that none of us will make it. We can't have come this far for it all to end like this. Half of us will go after them, and half of us will go around.
Well, I'm going after them. I'm not leaving Uloobu.
I'm going too.
Me too!
Oh, you're not dragging me into this.
Oh yes we are! This is all your fault! If the Fleens try and do anything to us, you'll be the first to go! The Zumbinis quickly divided into two groups. Saetwo, Echae, Tyscene, Touli, Conneda, Echae, Weiswyo, and 8 other Zumbinis formed the group that would be going to the mountains. And Echae untied Xekrai for the purpose of bringing him with. The remaining Zumbinis would be following the original plan and going around the edge of the mountains, away from danger. We still have our first mission, and that's to find a new home. If none of us come back, it's your guys' job to do that for us, okay? Okay, let's go everybody. After a few lingering morose goodbyes between friends, the two groups split off from each other and marched away from Shade Tree, the last rest stop they would ever see. Saetwo watched the second group as they flied off through the trees, knowing they wouldn't have to deal with anything she and her friends were about to face.
What'll happen if we don't make it?
We have to make it. This journey of ours just got a lot more important. It just became a rescue mission.